So we are going to start our next session. The theme of this session is terminologies and narratives. Over last 20 years or so, this word narrative has come into popular lexicon very significantly. If you look at the usage rate of this term narrative, in last 1990 onwards, the usage rate has, so the lexicon, this usage of this term has grown significantly. And there is a reason for that, because narrative does not mean truth. You can have a false narrative, you can have a semi-false narrative, and you can have a true narrative. And the permission, quote unquote, or the license to create whatever narrative you want, it got crafted once this ideology known as postmodernism came into existence. It was in 1960s or so that there was a French thinker, and then he propounded this notion of postmodernism. And essentially, in plain words, because it's very complicated mumbo-jumbo, he argued that there is no one single truth. Hindus say, ekam sat, ek satya hai. And it is stated in different ways. He said just exactly the opposite. There is no single truth. So if there are 10 people, you can have 10 different truths. And then license was taken using this idea that whatever I say is the truth. And that's how this narrative word came into picture. So if you can go to the next slide. This is exactly what this quotation from Harvard School of Design. Narratives neither recount things as they really happened, nor reveal true meaning of artifacts, cultures, and lived experiences. So if we try to argue with a person, okay, oh, I have fact and a video recording and something, it may not necessarily work at all. So this is one thing to understand. So I'll have just 2 more slides, and then we'll start the session. Next one. And in the context of social media or digital media, I cannot give long-winded 20-hour lectures or write elaborate papers. So I have to design very powerful terminologies which are packed with substance and meanings effectively. And in that context, terminologies are powerful ways of communicating one's story, especially in the age of digital media. I'll just give you one example. If someone says something, and they say, oh, you are a fascist. Just that single word. Now, historically, you can say, oh, fascism was born in Italy, and only those guys who were following the members of a particular party, fascist party, they were fascists. But now it's a much wider term, fascist. Power-packed word. Next one. I'll give you 2 examples how we can craft terminologies. So once you leave, you can think about it, and then, of course, then we'll have more discussion and presentations. Aurat. Now, if you look at its etymology from Persian or Arabic, this is what it means. Genitals, nudity, this is what it means. So Arabics called all our women as aurat. This is their way of looking at people. Now you see how you can use the same word with impact to counter them. So in the Hindu tradition, you have mahila, which means literally mahan, mahite iti mahila, that is mahan. But we can popularize this word auratification. How can you use this word strategically? The hijab makes a mahila into aurat. There's one single word. Now, the moment you state this in social media, people will ask lots of questions. What is hijab? What is mahila? What is aurat? Then you have a chance to answer their questions. You have to create avenues how you can create avenues through how you can respond to their questions rather than forcing your views on them. I'll give you one more example, and then we'll invite the speakers. We often refer Islam as dharm. You just call it as mazhab because that is their own term. How do you use it? I have given 2 examples. 80% of Indians participate, or Bharatiyas, my mistake, practice dharma in Bharat, and the rest are religionists and mazhabis. So the question will be, oh, you are differentiating between dharma and mazhab. अब आप बताइए धर्म का अभिप्राय क्या है, मजहब का. तो आपको एक अवसर मिलेगा उन्हीं के शब्दों को प्रयोग में ला करके उन्हीं के से प्रश्न निकालने का उत्तर मिलेगा. एक और एग्जाम्पल है इन हिंदी. सो यू कैन यूज दीज टर्म्स इन एनी लैंग्वेज, डजंट मैटर, दे आर लैंग्वेज न्यूट्रल. मैं धार्मिक हूँ और ओवैसी साहब, आई एम कॉलिंग हिम साहब, मजहबी हैं. Immediately there will be a question which will get provoked. What do you mean by this? So these are some examples. So just this is to set the stage. Now we have three eminent speakers today, and I will cordially invite them on the stage. I will request Manniya Shri Suresh Soni ji to kindly come. Our next speaker is Professor Anand Ranganathan. Our third speaker is Baba Satyanarayan Das, Dr. Satyanarayan Das. Dr. Sahab. I'll give you a brief introduction of all the three gentlemen who adorned the stage. I'll start with Manniya Suresh Soni ji. So Suresh Soni ji is very senior pracharak of Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. He has held in past several responsibilities in the RSS, including the position of Sah Sarkaryawah, that is Joint General Secretary. Born in Gujarat, Soni ji, after education, has dedicated his whole life as a full-time volunteer or pracharak in the Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh to the cause of Bharat Mata. Shri Soni is a very deep thinker. I have had several interactions with him, and I learned every time I meet him. And he's a very humble person, and he always wears a very nice, gentle smile on his face. He's an expert orator on issues related to organization, philosophy, and social sciences. He has published several books, including Bharat में विज्ञान की उज्ज्वल परंपरा, गुरुत्व यानी इंदुत्व, and Bharat, अतीत, वर्तमान एवं भविष्य. Please welcome him. Our next speaker is Professor Anand Ranganathan. He teaches at Jawaharlal Nehru University. After completing his PhD in Natural Sciences from Cambridge, Professor Ranganathan returned to Bharat to join International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology in Delhi as a research scientist. In 2015, he joined the Special Center for Molecular Medicine at JNU and became a full professor in 2019. He writes very frequently, and you've seen him on TV almost every day on almost all the channels, so I don't have to talk too much about it. And he also writes frequently in Swaraj, DNA, First Post, News Laundry, and so on and so forth. He's a consulting editor of Swaraj, and he has written several books, 4 books, and all of them are novels. So welcome, Dr. Saab. And our third speaker is Dr. Swami Satyanarayan Das ji. He is a graduate from IIT Delhi. He did his BTech from IIT Delhi in engineering, and after working for some years as a software engineer in United States, he returned to Bharat with a deep desire to study Sanskrit and original Vedic scriptures, study extensively Vedic scriptures, and then he founded the Jiva Institute of Vedic Studies to preserve and teach the ancient wisdom. He also has a law degree with himself and a PhD in Sanskrit from Agra Vishwavidyalaya. He has given several seminars and lectures across the world, United States, Europe, almost all parts of the world. And in 2012, he was awarded Sahitya Samman by President of Bharat. So welcome, Babaji.